Everyone's flooding in, even though we haven't hit the alert button yet. Why did my voice change? What do you mean? Maybe because it's been I missed the last day channel, so you haven't heard it in not last month, in 2 months. Yeah, I've been replaced by Santa, obviously. 15 people. I was in VC with you in CR. When were you in voice chat with me in CR? Well, I mean, I'm always with Nubist. Ooh, Biscotti, hello. It was like a month. Yeah, a month is a long time. People grow in 1 month. Babies grow in 1 month. Oh, full frontage is here. Hey, full frontage.
I'm here. Hello.
Welcome. Oh, Spoos Bears. Welcome back, Spoob.
What's up?
Hey.
All excited to be here, dude. I actually got to say, real quick, full frontage. Great to finally meet you,
Yeah, you as well.
man. Oh man, it's gonna be exciting. Chi Mobile, what's up, bro? How you doing? Another streamer on Twitch.
Yes.
Okay, the whole crew, everyone's joining in now. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Carsey's in here.
so,
Let's go. What's up?
I need to pull up my documents. It's oh shoot, I thought it was tomorrow.
Learn to
All right,
Clash, Gishy. What's going on, guys?
Gishy!
It's good to recognize
go,
some names in
mob.
the community.
Hey, Mur, I see you. All right. Oh wait, I gotta call my mom. Wait.
Call your mom, tell you you're famous.
I am. I'm calling her right now. Okay. I'm good.
I just locked out the other text channels, so everyone will be in mini chat.
No answer. Come on, mom. Don't embarrass me.
In chatting.
Okay, she hung up. She hung up on me. Wow, I can't.
Wow.
Lol.
The heck? Okay, good. All right. I'm gonna turn off my phone. See, I died. Okay. Think we're good. Wait, I just got a message from Twitter. Emmy's friend. Okay, perfect. Okay, I think we're fine. Wait, you know what? Let's do this. Add me as a speaker. Oh gosh, Frame. You shouldn't be asking me this stuff. Enchanted, how you doing?
Frame's up here, isn't he?
Wait, so Frame wants to be added as a. I have no idea.
Frame, you're up here already, unless you're muted.
Let's do this. Frame, I love you. I'm not only Frame because he's hot, but Enchanted, I love you too. Okay, I actually like you a little. I have a little bit of bias because Enchanted's, you know. I mean. Good.
Wait, how did you ping Supercell? We have a auto mod that stops you from doing that.
There we go.
Apparently, Zeppelin's having some issues. So
clearly,
man, I'm gonna call this video "Confronting Frame." Yo, wait, Rosa. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Rosa used to be one of the #1 players in the game. So I just want to say, Rosa, welcome to the stage channel. Great to have you here, and to everyone from Mob Esports.
Hello.
Like, welcome.
There we go.
What's up, Frame?
Yo. Okay, I'm
Hey.
here. Wait, let me add fan.
Oh man. Okay. This could be so much fun. All right.
I need to add
Do I look good? Oh, wait.
brief.
Look. Wine shirt. Wait, I need to put on pants. Sorry, let me put on pants. Okay.
Waist
How about
up,
little
you're
booty
fine.
Shorts. It's fine. There we go. Okay. My booty shorts are on.
Nice.
Waist up, you're fine.
Waist up? No. It's a full webcam. All right.
All right, I'm adding Fan. Fan needs to join us, and then we can begin. Can everybody still hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
Super Vinny's here. And we got Yellow. What's up, Yellow? Skeletron. Hey. An upcoming creator.
Oh, Skeleton's an upcoming creator.
Let's do this. The first thing I see is where's Global?
I mean, where is it?
Oh my gosh. Gishy Bear, how you doing? The global moment. Hey Morty. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh. My baby just turned 1 today, so I'm celebrating his birthday.
Wow!
Nice.
Happy birthday!
Did you hear that? I'm gonna name you Frame now. There you go. All right. Pull up my comments real quick because I have a lot of comments from here.
Just a minute. Making sure that Fan is up here.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Oh my gosh, Enchantin's typing, dude. I have a little crush on Enchantin. He's very dominant, I would say. You know, gotta give some love to him. Okay, he's been grinding out content. He's making phenomenal videos. You know, gotta give a lot of love to him.
Sure.
Crush on you? Stop. Enchanted does have a girlfriend. That's crazy. That's meta defining right there. Forget about Archer. Like forget about like Archer, Barbarian, Spear Goblin. Like Enchanting having a girlfriend is definitely the new meta. It's crazy.
Wait, what? I'm not in a loop.
AQ feet are. Oh no.
What is it with the, okay, is it like a meme that's going on? Because the first day I joined, I talked to Draco, and the first thing he says is feet. And I'm like, okay, this comes from the moderator. Cool. Okay, I guess this is the right
I
community
was reading
for
the
me.
chat. I was reading the chat. Please, I have no part in this.
Man, okay, everyone's simping for the Archer, but like, come on, bro. It's all about the Valkyrie. You know, the Valkyrie's top tier. She can ramp. She used to ramp. She used to be a force in the meta. Now she's like, you know, like Black Widow in the Avengers, dead. You know, like, bruh, I can't believe it.
Damn.
Shield Maiden can get it. She could get it. And Countess. Dude, I gotta say, the fan art community within Clash Mini is so strong with Countess and Shield Maiden fan art. I gotta say, it's OP. That's all I'm gonna say. Golden Giant.
Mini Mondays are the
Like-
best.
Yes, they are. I 100% agree, Frank.
Yeah.
Devil Healing Ranger. Oh, bro, don't get me started. Best skin. Shield Maiden X Countess. Yes, sir. Oh man. Yes, Countess is the waifu of the game. It's crazy. Show RC some love? No. No love for RC. We'll do it when she's nerfed. Look like vampire. I mean, it's a female Mortis. You know, and funny enough, I just downloaded Brawl Stars like I think yesterday. And as soon as I saw Mortis, I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like a multiverse.
Supercell multiverse confirmed.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so down for this. Mighty Miner is just Miner level 3.
Mighty Miner is just 4-star mini miner, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's facts coming from the community manager, so that's canon.
Yeah, canon confirmed.
The Super Silver. Spooming the Super Cell of Mad Person.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom just texted me saying,
All right,
why'd you call me? Oh, okay. I'm going to sit through all these questions in like 10 minutes.
Oh, Yugi's in here, the number one player.
The number
Wow.
one player,
In the
Yugi
world.
from Mob Esports. The cutie patootie.
Man 3-0s me at least 4 times a day. I don't know.
See, I don't even push because of Yugi.
Well, Funx is also here, so I'm really happy.
I beat Funx all the time.
Get him full! Get him frontage! He can't talk! All right, I'm gonna have to close my door because my many girlfriends might walk in to disturb me.
Alright.
Let me grab
I
my
don't even know if he heard me.
You can say it louder. Say it with your chest.
I wasn't recording.
I'm recording. I'll send it over to you.
There's no. Oh, damn it! I was gonna say there's
there
no
we go.
proof.
Fine to hear. There we go.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
I can hear
Yo!
you. What's up?
Yay!
Sorry about that. I switched to my laptop, and it works now. Worked now. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Cool.
No
I understand,
problem.
fan. You were in a rumble, okay? You just wanted to win against Rosen Yugi. That's cool. That's cool. I understand. How's it winning first place?
Well, I'll try my best.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another stage channel for this month, end of May. So we have season 3. Season 3 came out. Everybody's hyped. Everybody loves Skeleton King, how overpowered he is, and how he's dominating the top tier list of everyone. Right? Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How much you paying me to say this? Yeah. Let's do it.
Some people feel Skeleton King is pretty underpowered, right? Are you
Well,
making a joke?
I will.
You know, it depends how you define underpowered, fan. Like, you are the balance guy here, so tell us.
Yes. When we make Skeleton King, we want to make a different hero than all the other heroes. We want to make
Mhm.
a hybrid hero that can do almost like everything, but not really good at everything. So he should be very versatile, but not the best in like doing one thing really, really well. So he has the ability to crowd control the enemy. He has the ability to deal extra damage. He can also tank a little bit with his revive ability. So that's the design intent. Uh, and I still believe that at like higher level, for example, after you get like level 8, I think he's still pretty viable. But I do admit that in the early levels, he's a little bit weak. So I think when we try to make a hero, we have to uh, test a lot of things like the late game when the level is high or early game where everyone is low level. So this time I think we did mess up on the lower level side where he feels very uh, not that powerful in early levels. So we are working on a fix to solve that. Yeah.
Sounds great. I think Fan, to be completely honest, I feel like the flavor of him is phenomenal. I think being able to revive at level 8 and being able to provide something that no other hero does in the game. You said it exactly correctly. But the one thing I will say though is that I feel like the flavor of that card. I'm sorry, not the card. They're minis, not cards. I apologize. But the thing about Skeleton King, what really makes him unique is going to be his level 8 skill to be more accessible towards the, to people who aren't spending, exuberant amounts, or they're not playing every single day, as Frame says on Twitter. The thing is, I would like to suggest that we move his level 8 skill to his level 4 skill. So it retains his flavor, so he's able to, he's able to revive back, dealing 2 damage, and a little bit more on the HP side. And I think, I think we all know that he does die a little bit easily. I feel like that, when he activates his skill, because he takes a lot of frames in order for him to activate. I feel like that he should gain a small shield, of 2 or maybe 4 HP, so he's able to at least soak a little bit more damage. So he's not just a beat stick with health; he's also a beat stick that can also deal damage.
Yeah. We actually thought about which the order of the 2 abilities for a while. In the end, I still decided to put the isolation on the second one on the level 4. It is because it is a new mechanics. Of course, revive is also new mechanics, but I think new revive has been in a lot of other games. It's much easier to understand. So, but isolation is a more unique mechanics that does not exist in a lot of games. So by putting isolation a little bit early, it helps players learn these mechanics. And also, uh, isolation is about placement. Revive is about power. So I always believe that Clash Mini is a game about placement, about outsmarting the enemy, about like predicting the enemy movement and place my minis in a way that counters the enemy. So that's why when I have a choice between introducing something about placement earlier or introduce something about just power earlier, I always try to introduce things about new mechanics or fun mechanics or something a player hasn't seen before earlier, so more people have access to this new experience and gameplay. I know I'm paying a cost of like making him a little bit harder to balance, like what the challenge I'm facing now. But I think he's balanceable after we see more gameplay, after we get feedback from players, we are able to balance him pretty well. But I would not want to save these mechanics, fun mechanics for later, because that's something very few players can experience. Level 8 is too far in the road, right? So after balancing the gameplay, the fun, the unique mechanics, the unique experience versus the difficulty of the balance, I decided to choose letting players try these mechanics earlier and leave the problem to me. And I have faith that I can solve them in 1 or 2 patches.
So, and here's the thing as well. Like I feel like I can speak for the community as we say that we love what you implement into the game. We love the flavor. We love how you implemented the isolation mechanic and also the revive mechanic. The only thing and here's the thing. I come from a background that I played almost all auto chess games. The last 3 years, that's all I've been doing. I've been playing a lot of Chess Rush, a lot of TFT, Auto Chess Mobile, and you're right. Isolation has never been in an actual mechanic in any of those games. So it's glad to see that. But within a game such as Clash Mini, when you have such limited tiles, when you have like a 5x space, I feel like that isolation really doesn't come off as much. Versus, unless against like Countess, when she's, disappearing or reappearing on the map, going against certain enemies, I feel like the isolation plays a little bit of a role versus, like Wavemaster, for example, every 5 strikes, deals damage and then also heals. I feel like that's a phenomenal, piece. So I have faith. I feel like the community has a lot of faith in bringing balance into what makes Skeleton King so great.
Kind of piggybacking to, I think the isolation factor, at least I understood it this way at first, was the isolation was either the Skeleton King was by itself or an enemy was by itself. So like, for example, kind of addressing Spoop's point is the board is only so big. So would it make sense to incorporate the isolation ability to also when the Skeleton King is there alone versus just when he's fighting against a enemy mini who's alone? Would that help balance it kind of at that lower level a little bit more?
Yeah. We also tried that. We also tried the first isolation mechanics we implement is actually Skeleton King gets a buff when he's isolated. So you pull him aside and then it just always trigger. It doesn't feel that interactive. It feels more about him doing the right thing rather than interacting or predicting what the enemy is doing. So we tried that for a few weeks, and in the end, we still pivot to the one that makes the enemy isolated. I know the game board is a little bit small, and especially when like round 3, round 4, you have a lot of minis. Enemy has a lot of minis. It's hard to isolate. We are implementing, because if we look at the future, we may have more things to help players maneuver or control the board and how it goes. So if you look at today, yes, we don't have enough things for you to isolate the enemies, but we are doing more things that can help you do that better in the future. So this is the first step of opening like a gift box. This is the first gift you see. There are something down the road that can help playing these mechanics better. So so that's how we are thinking about this. Yeah.
Interesting.
If you guys want to stay on the topic of balance, let us know.
I would.
But yeah, it's your
I have
questions at the first.
a couple more questions about the balance and stuff. One of the other minis that's a little bit underwhelming from the community's perspective is the Royal Ghost. I really like the idea that was presented on one of the comment section of my videos was the Royal Ghost should either feel like it's either an attacker or it's a tank support. And the Ghost kind of feels more of like a tank support with its current abilities, but it only has 4 HP at base level. So just kind of thinking about that and looking forward, what's the balancing look like for Royal Ghost? Is it going to lean towards more of a damage dealer, or is it going to transition to kind of like that tank support type mini?
Can I have the third option? Maybe support DPS.
Support
Yeah.
DPS.
So yes. So I totally understand your point. Mostly, you don't want the DPS to be able to support because they will be very crazy, right? In most games like League of Legends, the tank is a tank. Sometimes the tank has the ability to support. I get that. I have a lot of experience with that game. But what we really care about is what is fun. Instead of thinking about like stereotypes or classes, that's secondary. For us, the most important thing is what is the most fun part about this kit, and we want to remove all the barriers for players to access that fun experience. So what we are actually doing is to put the Ghost Army at his base ability. So you will not need 6 elixir to access Ghost Army. Just get Royal Ghost. the default ability is the Ghost Army. So you can use him to create crazy strategies. And because it's only 3 elixir now, you have more elixirs to spend on how to get other minis to work with him better. And that's the change we are making. So, and everything else is going to support that kind of direction. So he's still going to deal 2 damage on his hit. He's still able to like deal a lot of damage if leaving unchecked. But he has this ability to support, and we feel because it works with placement, it works with enemies, and then now when you see a Royal Ghost, you don't need to guess. Oh, does he have the second upgrade, or does he have the first upgrade, or does he have no upgrade? You don't have to guess. When you see an enemy has a Royal Ghost, you know that this guy is going to put his minis invisible for the few seconds. So as the enemy who play against Royal Ghost, you also have more counterplay that you can think about rather than guessing. So I feel by putting this ability, the Ghost Army as default, create gameplay on the player side. It's easier to access that mechanics. It also creates more counterplay on the enemy side because it's more guaranteed. It's more sure what is going to happen.
That's great.
That's how
and when
we
you
are thinking about changing him.
Yeah, and when you say by default, do you mean it'll become a clash ability at the start?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. And would its current base ability transition to that second star ability, or would it be replaced with something else? Or we don't know yet.
Yeah, so we were actually trying to get a new ability for him, but we want to just first swap it and let the community try it first. And the way we are going to do is that the now every 3 attack, he's going the second upgrade will be every 3 attacks he become invisible for 3 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And because it's triggered by attack rather than mana bar, he actually does that faster. He doesn't need an animation to wave up his hand and the sword then become invisible. He just become invisible immediately. So he feels much smooth to use and it feels much more powerful. He's still going to be the really unique mini in Clash Mini he has, but I think the whole experience feels much more smoother. Yeah,
I feel like that's a really good change.
I 100%.
Let's see.
I'm excited for that because like the Royal Ghost like is definitely a unique mini, so I'm excited to see that in play. Spoop, did you have any other questions about Royal Ghost?
My gosh, I have tons of questions. I'm so glad you asked Frontage. All right. So with that being said, we have to talk about what the problems are in the recent balance. And I'm not saying it's huge, but yeah, I mean there's this couple, Barbarian, Archer, Spear Goblin. Spear Goblin being one of the most, especially with Archer being the most polarizing cards in the entire game. The ability to deal 2 damage to 2 separate enemies on the map. You have the ability to go faster, right? You have the boast ability to deal 1+ damage. That's insane, right? You have Archer Queen that only has 8 HP, right? She dies in 4 shots. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And at a 2 mana cost. The 2 mana cost is really what breaks the game right now. And plus I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh well, why not just use Musketeer, right? Musketeer's at 9 mana. You can get a level 3, you get a nice waifu, you can stun 2 units across the map. But the thing with Archer is that you're spending so little mana. It's and you're able to pivot into different cards. That's why Barbarian is so good. Because with Barbarian, you have the ability to counter Countess, which is 1 card. It doesn't have to heal. He just starts popping off. He has a small chance in order to deal 1+ damage. He's somehow dealing 2 damage to a Countess, which I think is phenomenal. I think in another round, he's defeating Barbarian King at level 10. While I'm only using level 5 Barbarian King, I'm up here swiping people on Tinder, and I'm realizing that I'm already beating people in Clash Mini. I'm beating people 3 or 4 levels higher than me. The main thing, especially with Spear Goblin, is the fact that he controls the board. If you have Electricity Tile, if you have Mirror Tile, that Clash ability needs to be nerfed. I feel like it needs to be addressed. I feel like, not really like a specific nerf, but I feel like instead of 5 damage, probably 3 damage. Because what it does, it tells other people on the board to, hey man, don't put your troops over here, you're going to deal a lot of damage. Or I have to sacrifice my main tank's HP. So it goes from 5 even to 8 over to, 3. I feel like that Clash abilities in general are super strong. I would say nerf Archer. I don't know how to really nerf her. I would say do the Healing Ranger. Do what they did to Healing Ranger, and when they're upgrading, their stars doesn't really go up in HP, so it's really more of like a low statted unit. So actually, it takes more skill in order to use the units. Either that, or just don't have it attack 2 enemies at once, or just reinstate that ability. Sorry, I'm about to pass out. Whew, sorry, I'm running out of oxygen. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Well, I wish I can speak English as fast as you can. I really want to learn that. I cannot. Sorry, my English is not my mother tongue, so I might speak a little bit slower, and sometimes my vocabulary is misused. But please forgive me about that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I remember in the previous video I actually said we want to buff 4 cost minions and make them stronger in season 3, but I think we did the opposite of making the 2 cost mini stronger. I think it's because I definitely underestimated how strong synergy is compared to just pure stats. Even though we gave 4 cost minis, several of them better stats, but synergy is what makes a team of minis strong. So I think I definitely underestimated that. So it's a great lesson for me. So we are working on Archer or Barbarian or Spear Goblin, but more like relocate their power in a way that they are still synergy, but not to a point where they just multiply each other, then multiply each other. That creates a huge power spike when everything works well together. And also, like you said, I think I really like this, that the Archer maybe should not get like HP per upgrades, because she should be the squishiest mini, but with the potential to deal a lot of damage, right? I always said that it is not about being OP. It is more about having a counter, having a moment to shine, having a moment to be shut down, right? With the HP gain, with everything she has now, there's no way to shut down her before she contribute all the damage she could. So I think making her weakness more obvious is something we are working. And also to shift the power a little bit is what we are working. So yeah, that is being worked on. So we are literally testing the new changes. Because she's a very iconic character, and she's also a very cool character. So we want to preserve her unique power and the feel without making her too powerful. So we are still testing her. When we get a little bit more, we are testing several ways to modify her kit. So once we get something we really like, we'll probably share with you guys. So far, I think in general is that we want to reduce the ability to burst in the beginning, but make her a little bit sustain a little bit longer, so that the barbarian combo is not that OP. And yes, for Spear Goblin, I understand what you mean. I think it is very exciting to see him miss or hit, right? No matter he miss or he hits, because the spear is so powerful that no matter it's miss or hit, one side will be very happy or excited, right? But if we make this ability kind of like when you hit, when you don't hit, you don't really care, then you kind of miss the point. So like I said, with the with the spear skeleton king, right? I rather take the hit on the difficulty of balancing the mini rather than taking the fun away of them. I believe there are still a lot of ways we can balance Spear Goblin, but if we take the fun away, then players will not care, right? So I rather you hate him than you don't care about him. So sorry about that. I will still make the super powerful, but I will make sure that try to make sure that when he misses, the other side is super happy.
One of the things that I was oh, go ahead. One of the things I was thinking about was when the initial release of Balanced List had the Barbarian's third ability at the 60% speed increase, and then it changed back to the +1 attack for the Clash ability. Was there a reason that kind of happened? Do you think it was just like too underwhelming that it was at 60% speed increase? Because I think that would kind of help offset the combination of how much power that Barbarian Clash ability paired with the Archer has, because the Archer has a 3rd star ability that lets you, that's that clash speed increase ability. And I'm assuming those wouldn't stack if that was the case.
So actually, it's the opposite. The clash speed was even more powerful. So
Really?
we to change it to the attack damage. Yeah, so it was very funny. I think because we need to lock the game, stop the development so that our QA team has time to test everything, right? The balance, the functionality, everything, right? Crashes, everything. So we actually already said, hey, the game is locked a few months ago before this patch goes out, the update goes out. Nothing should be changed. The QA are testing, we only fix bugs. And one day morning, like 6 a.m., our QA guy was like, hey, dude, this guy's OP. He just like make every hero cast their like supers in like 3 seconds. And with like ton of damage from minions, you have to change this. Otherwise the game is broken. So we already promised not to change anything unless it's a bug. But the QA team was so sure that, hey, let me show you a few videos we record from that build. Let me show you how crazy this can be. And I saw some videos that it's even more OP. And
Interesting.
With their team composition. And I tried myself. So we changed this last minute to plus attack speed and reduce the duration. That's why you see the patch notes was even more OP, because the problem with the attack speed is that it not only deals damage, it also gives energy, right? It not only helps attackers but also helps casters. So it's even more viable, and you have for people who can deal also damage and cast abilities like Eevees, right? Like Archer Queen. It's crazy how much this attack speed can give them. So we decided to put it to attack speed, but attack damage. But I have to admit that it's a last minute change. I don't think it's it is the how to say, it is the best thing to change these kind of things last minute. So in the future development, we'll try to leave more time for the balanced QA guys to test the game more before we lock down the game. So this is a lesson that we learn as a development team, how we develop the games, how do we plan different stages of the development. So there's a lot of learnings from that. And now when I look at the attack damage +1, I actually think it's really cool. It creates a lot of cool ways to use these minis, like Barbarian plus Spear Goblin, Barbarian plus Archer. I still love the combination of these kind of 2-cost minis together, synergy with each other. I still like that. I think the problem is that it's a little bit too strong, rather than the synergy is not fun or anything. So I still want to keep that. Also, in the same time, they are pretty countable. If you can have like fishermen, you can counter them. And also, if you have AoE damage, it's also easy to like just hit one guy, then ignite all the other guys. Or if you send your Valkyrie to the back line, she's going to spin and just kill multiple minis. So I still feel that it is okay, or it is actually good to have this kind of really OP synergy. But the problem is that the challenge is that we need to make sure that they are counterable. The problem with now is the power is so strong that they are not counterable. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, because I remember when Enchant and I when we first got our hands on the dev build as creators, and we were playing around, and the first thing we had tried was Barbarian King, Barbarian, and Archer. And the Barbarian King giving the +1 attack to the Archer with its 2 arrows. Then by the time the Barbarian Clash runs off, the Barbarian King, because its energy was lowered by 2, is getting its super off. So now the Archer is just continuously dealing that 2 damage to enemies twice at a time because it's shooting 2 arrows. And I remember we were talking about it, and we were like, yeah, this is going to be really strong. So I also think, like, kind of to your point of that, like, it's really strong right now. Part of that is I think Barbarian King too. And Barbarian King is probably, just based on experience, I don't know the stats or anything, but probably one of the most played heroes at least at like higher trophy levels. And I think that's partially because of the powerful combination that it has with those abilities. So do you think nerfing Barbarian King a little bit would kind of help with that overpowered sense that people are getting from the Archer and Barbarian that the QA testers might not have seen in the first place?
Yes, we are nerfing Barbarian in the next patch. Yeah, we definitely are aware of that, and they work together, right? They are like really good combo. So we are also nerfing Barbarian. That's why we are also not nerfing these 2-cost minis too much, because the main hero that actually make them strong is being a little bit so we don't want to just cut them like by too much.
Barbarian King, to be clear, not Barbarian.
Oh, sorry, Barbarian King.
If I can share something real quick, I feel like it should not only just be Barbarian King, but I feel like that our World Champion getting that change from 4 to 8, from that level 4 skill to level 8 skill, I feel like that she should get a little bit of a tone down, because I'm over here in 900 to about 1,000 trophies, and I'm seeing nothing but RC. In full frontage, all respect to you. You have I know you're very high up there in Legendary League. But over just being pretty much like the low spender, I will say that I feel like that being able to reroll those skills, dealing 8 damage per throw, dealing CC, and dealing stun is definitely it's very strong. And my only suggestion, and I feel like it really toned down World Champion, is to only have World Champion gain about 75% of its energy back, so she's able to hit one more time, then to reroll for another 8 damage. Because if you're because imagine that you're playing against a Barbarian King deck or like a Wave Master deck. In Wave Master decks, you're pretty much carrying low health minis. You're typically carrying, Musketeer. You're carrying around like maybe a Giant Skeleton. Giant Skeleton having very low HP but having a good payoff. It doesn't really make a difference when that World Champion is able to deal 4 damage into a kill in order to reroll into another 4 damage. There's a lot of videos I have on my channel that showcase that Barbarian King is at 16 health, and then the surrounding minis are dying, having that Barb King going from 16 to 0 in just a matter of seconds. And I think it's a little bit on the overpowered side. It kind of shafted a lot of the hog players, a lot of the, especially Countess. Countess gets completely obliterated by RC decks. And I mean, I'm just requesting just a small nerf on her part. I feel like her flavor's still there. I love her mechanics, and I love her ability to just have that ability to reroll, but it happens way too often. Either that, or just have her just deal 3 damage per super. That's on just little things I'd like to have changed.
Yeah, World Champion was on my list of nerfs as well. So even though I'm at the top, I still see it, and I know how strong it is. Because everything you said was what I had actually said about 2.5 weeks ago. I think exactly what it was. Putting the retaining the energy instead of getting super back at full when it kills an enemy. It should get it to 75%, or just reduce the damage that the second shield does off bounce, maybe like to 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's because it's because again, like 4 damage and in a tile radius, not just like it's not like Monk, or it's not like Skeleton King, where it does all that damage in a closed area. It can be within 2 tiles, and that shield can affect a different mini on the map.
Yeah.
But if I can say one more thing real quick, this is actually coming from the top player in the world. Her name is Rosa, or his name is Rosa. I actually want to see a bowler nerf, because I actually have 2 suggestions, if you don't mind. I feel like making Bowler a 4-cost mini would be very balanced because of his clash ability, being able to deal 2 damage, deal stun, and also able to deal 2 damage in general. I think it's very powerful. I really don't see a lot of people upgrading Bowler once you put him on the map, maybe against AQ decks, maybe against some RC iterations. But I feel like that he should only hit a range about 4 or 5 tiles versus the entire 8-tile lane. So if you're able to hit him, you have to put him in the front and not just have him in the back line, just rolling that giant bowling ball, getting a strike on, and getting almost 8 damage potential. I think that's a little strong, So I would pretty much suggest 4 or 5 tile change, or make the mini a 4-cost mini. And I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree, but I feel like it would balance the mini.
Well, you're in luck, because RC is definitely on the list of balance changes, right, Fan?
Woo!
Woo! Let's go!
So so yeah, I really want to talk about Royal Champion because I think this is a great example of when making a game and when play a game, how different you feel, right? So first is that I want to talk about a perception. I know Royal Champion feels good, and that large play of just herself by killing everyone on the enemy team, just keep getting the resets feels great. So that's the experience I want players to have, right? We want players to feel epic when the setup is right for her. The challenge for us is that not challenge. I think I was first say that a mistake I made personally is that the level 4 of like getting an extra bounce is just too strong as an upgrade, right? Because I want the mechanics to feel like it's being upgraded to a different level, but I think just adding another bounce is just too strong, right? Double the damage, double the stun. But I don't also have a great way to make this less powerful with less cost. I mean, because if I say, hey, the first bounce deals 4 damage, the second bounce deals 2 damage, but when it kills, it's just reset. I just feel like it's too worth players to learn. Because when we make the game, we don't want to just make the game for you guys who are really good at these kind of games. We also want people who never play strategy games. We want people who is very, very casual can taste the beauty of strategy games. We don't want this game to be just a small group of people play. I want my mom to be able to play. I want my wife to be able to play this game because they were always very afraid of strategy games. They feel that they are not smart enough, or they don't understand these things a lot, so that they shy away from this game. So one of the key thing for Clash Mini is that we want to make the game as simple as possible, as accessible as possible, so that more people can enjoy the fun of strategy games. So that resulted in a lot of the design being tried just one sentence. I forced myself to write everything in one sentence. The ability I describe in one sentence. The upgrades I try to describe it in one sentence so people can easily understand. I don't want to create the ability that this thing does this and it does this as well. And if this happened, it does this. If this happened, it does that. It just scares away people who may be able to enjoy this game. So make the game easy to play, but also deep is something like I promised to the team and to players I want to do. But that gave like exactly for Royal Champion. If I want to make the description super easy to understand, I just add one thing. This shield can bounce one time, right? That's it. Rather than making it really complicated, but that makes the chunk of this ability too big that it's just become really powerful. So that's what happened. And I'll skip a lot of like the thought process, but I'll just go to the things that people like to hear is how are we going to change it, right? So the way we are going to change it is that, like I said, we want to bring the fun part as early as possible, as on the surface as possible. So you don't need to grind too much to feel the fun of this hero. So what is going to happen to Royal Champion is that her base ability now, even at level 1, can bounce. So she throw the shield, hit one enemy, bounce to another one. And if either of these hit kills an enemy, going to deal 2 damage.
I love it. I love you. I love you already. That's great.
Okay. I just don't know if I express this clearly. So yeah, her base is the bounce at 2 hits, and the level 4 upgrade is going to plus 2 damage to the ability, so that the after level 4 everything feels similar, but in early game it's more fun, right? It's easier to see the fun, see the potential of this hero. And the other thing is, before this change, I cannot make a Royal Champion too weak, because if her level 4, level 8 is too weak, her level 1 is also going to be weaker. It's really hard to just nerf level 4 to 8, not level 1. So that in the longest time, my biggest struggle is that if I nerf her at level 4, level 8, her level 1 will feel like shit because she has nothing. right? The shield is just one shield. It feels the weakest. I think a lot of people also felt that, right? Like a Royal Champion feel very underwhelming before level 4. But after level 4, she become a god, right? So, but now with this bouncing at the base level, I can actually the potential of the level 1, 2, 3 is much higher, so that the early game is stronger, and I can then start to nerf a little bit the level 4 and level 8. So in general, we are putting a nerf on her, but with the shift of the mechanics to early levels, her early level will not be too impacted, while the late game is a little bit nerfed. So we feel she's overall a more balanced character with more fun and easier access. The fun is easier to access.
Did you say the thought was to not have her get her energy back right away when she KOs an enemy?
She will get energy back when she kills.
Full?
When the shield kills.
Wait, so
sorry?
full or will be more 75%?
Full energy. Full energy.
Full energy. Okay, but just like reduced damage.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And if I can just lay down one more thing, and I don't want to stress you out with this question, fan, but a lot of people are texting me right now saying, is this in development right now? When are we going to see these changes go live? Is it like a week or 2 weeks? Because if we at least get an ETA, it can get us at least excited about the game and about this upcoming balance.
So whenever we do a balance update, due to our technology, we have to shut down the server and kick every player out for some time. I think 20 minutes. So we don't want to do this when we are not prepared, because the problem with any change to the game is that we introduce risks, and it may force us to do another maintenance that kick players out. So we will try to create as least disruption to players' experience as possible. So we do a lot of testing before we ship this out. We don't want to introduce any crashes. So we are making a kind of like mid-season patch that fix some of the bugs and introduce some of the balance changes in the same time. Also, there's another bug we are fixing, which is the Wave Master. Wave Master's healing on the level 4 is bugged, so it does not heal the correct amount. So if it works, you should heal more. So we are also fixing bugs like this. So once we finish the testing, we'll put it out. It's probably around I cannot promise anything, but it will be in the middle of the season. So maybe in a few weeks, I guess.
That's exactly. I think that's exactly what we want to hear. At least and I know again it's not a promise at all, but I think it's great to at least tell the community that we're working on it, that that we're able to see progress. So I appreciate that, fan, a lot. Can we also address the bowler issue going on right now?
Yes.
I know I did mention a little bit earlier, making maybe a 4 cost, making E was a 3 cost. I don't know.
Yeah. So I really like Bowler. I think he is very cute, and I love he feels very For some reason, I feel he's a little bit stupid looking at his teeth and the eyes, but I just love this character by a lot. We could, but for this patch we also don't want to change too many things at once. So this time we are only nerfing him a little bit to reduce the overwhelming feeling of him, but we are not doing drastic change to him, because we are doing drastic change to Royal Ghost, right? We are also doing drastic change to another mini that you guys are not mentioning, which is great. I'll save some surprises for you guys. So we don't want to introduce too many changes in the middle of the season, because for some players who are still learning the game, they may feel, hey, I just learned this guy, you changed it, now I don't know how to play this guy anymore. So we have to look after players who are really good. We also have to look after new players, players at different skill levels. So we don't want to introduce too many big changes. But I do believe that Bowler is a mini with huge potential. Actually, I'm not satisfied with where he is right now. To me, the most important is not his win rate or play rate. It's actually the potential where he can be and where he is at. I feel like this character is so cool, so fun. His potential is crazy, but I don't think we leveraged or did a good job of like making him the mini that you feel so epic or so cool. He's still cool, right? When you bowl the rock hits like 4 minis, you feel so great. But I think there are some other super cool things he can do, but it's not realized. So we are actually reserving him for a future potential rework that introduce some really, really cool things that nobody has seen. I'll just say one thing, right? Imagine, besides throwing a ball on the line, imagine he throw the ball to a location and that rock stays there and block path finding for
Ooh.
enemies. And imagine how
Ooh.
many like gameplay that will create, right? Imagine instead of like throwing the ball to a location that blocks the enemy passing, what if he actually roll with the ball, or he roll his ally with the ball, right? Maybe every ally in front of him is going to the enemy with the ball, something like that. I feel like he has great potential, but we need more time to make him really, really good. So that's why we are not changing him right now, because then we changing him again, that place we have spent too much time to relearn this character. So that's what we are doing. For really cool character like him, we are saving the effort to do some really big package of change to make him to the next level.
Wow.
That's great. Oh no, go ahead, Frontage.
I was going to say that sounds really cool. And if I guess which mini is the other surprise, will you tell us?
I already have it in mind.
I think I might have one.
You can guess. You can guess if you are right.
One guess. Okay.
I'll tell you you're right.
Go
You
ahead.
can
Go
guess
ahead, Frontage. I
one,
need to
yes.
think. I need to use my brain.
All right. My thought is Magic Archer.
Magic Archer. That's not even a mini. That's not a mini in the game. That's so irrelevant. I'm gonna say Ewiz, because Ewiz is, has way less HP than than probably either both. I can see a lot of potential, but I agree. I agree with you, Frontage. Okay, see.
Yeah, I think Frontage is right. Yeah, we are actually reworking Magic Archer. Yeah, we are reworking Magic Archer.
I didn't even have insider info on that either.
The scale of this rework, the scale of this rework is a little bit big because he's a really, really cool guy, right? He's legendary. Like, just love him. He's so cool in Clash Royale, in our game. So I feel he deserves some really epic kind of rework to make him almost like a mini that feels close to a hero, that kind of feeling. Because he just looks so cool, right? So we are doing almost like a full rework on him.
Nice.
We are still testing the details and stuff like that, but I cannot promise at the time. But I think you're right. We are trying to do something very special about him.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad to see our wavelength is the same. All right. I think those were like all the major like balance concerns from the community that we kind of hit on, like the ones that were like seen as like super, super strong and the ones that were seen as like super, super weak, mainly just being like the Royal Ghost and Skeleton King on the weak side. But I'm glad to hear there's some stuff in the work kind of for all that.
Yeah, I feel like for right now, just looking at immediate balance changes, I think like Frontage, I think he nailed almost all the things on the head, with me included, with having Spear Goblin, Archer, and Barbarian.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it comes to longevity of the game, I feel like that and I know it shouldn't be immediate right now, but I feel like we should have some some new modes kind of be added into the game. I feel like that Rumble is definitely very, very fun. It's definitely great to bring friends. You have rooms. I would love to see some like replays or see some like like battle logs. I think that would bring a lot more strategy, bring a lot more versatility into the game, so you're able to see what interaction does with what, and you're able to capitalize and kind of what do you say, make fixes to your play style.
Oh, I thought you were talking about some other. new game mode, like different way to play the game. So when you mean game mode, you mean replay and match history? Like, I don't understand what you mean by.
Oh, okay.
Because game mode to me is like, like a game mode that have infinite elixir, or game mode that the map is different, or game mode you can use special mini. That's what game mode sounds to me. But you were asking about like replays, so I don't quite understand.
Yeah. Oh,
so are you talking about
I apologize.
the different game? Okay, sorry. Yes, let's talk about game modes. So we were thinking about new game modes, but it is, how to say, this feeling is a game. If we, because one lesson we learned from Rumble is that it is just a lonely game mode there that you just play and you get trophies. That's it. Like I said, we are not really building a full experience around it. Let's say Rumble. Sorry, maybe I'm a little bit. Am I very noisy? Do you hear like some really crazy noise from my mic, or am I?
No, you're fine.
You're okay. You're good.
Okay, because there's a floor sweeping machine next to me. Sorry about that. Yeah. So like what we realized is that if you just put a game mode out there without proper progression, without proper like system around it, it'll just be there. People who play it just play it, but it's not built with the full thinking, right? So imagine Rumble, right? You have a different leaderboard for Rumble. You have your special like things you can get from Rumble. There are special like tokens for you how to Rumble, and you get different things from Rumble. Then the experience will be much more different than just a game mode. So for us, we are thinking that what we like about we like Brawl Stars, right? Brawl Stars has a lot of game modes that it's just a game mode. They don't have like progression or anything with that. But it's because their game is a real-time game. Even with a little bit change, because you are controlling this game in real time, you can create a lot of different things by yourself. But Clash Mini is a game that the minis will automatic fight. If it's just a different game mode, in the end, it will still feel the way you think is still pretty similar. Even though Rumble and the Duo, it's actually in structure very different. But after you play a while, you feel like it still feels similar. You just face different opponent. That's it. So that for Clash Mini to have a different game mode, it needs to feel fundamentally different, even on the progression side, on a lot of the meta side, so that the difference is enough, right?
Makes
so
sense.
Imagine maybe in Rumble you can take eight minis, but in Duo you can only take 6, stuff like that. So when we think about new game mode, we need to think about a full experience, and I think spend more time making a holistic experience around it rather than just put it out there. So we are learning from that mistake and need time to build things around it before we ship it. So that's how we are thinking about new game modes. So far, we are still in the ideation stage, and we haven't really put the development time in it, but we are thinking in that way. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. One of the kind of going back to the balances, there were a couple other things that community had asked me about, and one of the things was talking about modifying some of the in-game numbers for balance changes. So like one of the examples that was brought to my attention was like amplifying the numbers like times 10. So instead of a mini having 5 health, it would have 50 health. Would that make it more difficult to balance, or would that make it easier to balance because you can go in increments of 5? Like for example, with the mini P.E.K.K.A, its recent HP nerf going from 9 to 8. If it went from 90 to 85, so that way it could have that like middle ground without feeling like too drastic of a change, even by that 1 extra hit point or that 0.1 extra hit per second, things like that.
Yeah. That will make my life like 10 times easier. I have to, the team has been also asking and suggesting the designers to change the numbers in that way, like +10, but times 10, and then I have much more tools to modify things in like smaller ways to fine tune different numbers. Right? I think attack damage now is a really good example. You don't want to give 2 attack damage because that's crazy. You can only give 2. Well, give 1, but 1 is already doubling a lot of minions damage, right? If we times 10, I can give like 4 damage. That still feels pretty good without like overpowering things. So that will make my life 10 times easier. But
Great.
but I sorry, I love to say, but it goes back to the original point I said. The goal for Clash Mini is we want a lot of players can enjoy this game. Maybe we are making a bad decision by doing that. Maybe we will never get those players who don't enjoy this game. But before we surrender, before we give up, we still want to try. I think the moment we times 10 all the numbers, that is the surrender moment when we say, hey, we give up on getting players who don't play strategy game to enjoy strategy game. We say, hey, let's just focus on the players that is already playing this type of games. It's a give up moment to me because I feel a lot of times what scares those players away is big numbers, right? They have like 1,000 HP, like 138 damage. It's just really complicated. Versus like 10 and 1, right?
That was my initial thought when I saw that too.
So far, I'm spending
that was my initial thought when I saw it too. Is that like people seeing, for whatever reason, people seeing like bigger numbers is it scares people away. Even if it seems simple, it can still scare people, because like thinking about like Clash Royale, in that sense, where like there are spells that have like having to memorize, like a fireball. I don't even know if these numbers are accurate anymore, but like a rocket used to do 432 damage. A fireball does 201 damage. A zap does 56. A snowball does 56. A log does 84. Like having to memorize all those like bigger numbers for a casual player can get kind of overwhelming at points. So that's kind of different things that like I had seen about and like what the process is and things like that. So that was my first thought as well. But I felt like after I kind of had that conversation with the community, it was like, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from now. It probably would make balancing things easier because you can get those like divisible numbers. Like instead of having 1.5 damage, it does 15 damage, things like that.
Yeah, we are the first game team in the Shanghai studio, Supercell Shanghai studio. We are the first game, so we have the luxury to try a lot of things that we may not be able or be brave enough to try in the second game. Because it's the first game, we can fail, we can make a lot of crazy things. People will not judge us. We are human beings, right? We are game developers. We are also human beings. We don't want people to judge us. We don't want people to think we are bad developers. We want people to think we are good. So this is the only time we can try crazy things. If we fail this time, the second game will be less brave. We'll be much more cautious. We'll try to not make as many mistakes as this time. So we know that if we don't do all the crazy things this time, we'll be more like a cowards in the future. So why not? Let's just do all the things we want to do. Try all the crazy things in the first time, knowing that in the second game we'll never be as brave as we are. So we try to do all this kind of who may not even look at this game. The art style is also crazy. We are trying this art style. And the reset, right? It's crazy. You think about like how crazy the reset concept is, but we still want to do it. And the gameplay, like it's so the gameplay is so like simple, but we wanted to have depth. There are a lot of crazy things we put into the game because this is the only chance we can do all those crazy things. We are so afraid that we lose this courage in the future. So So you see us doing a lot of things, but those things, it's difficult. It's really hard. It puts a lot of burden on the designers, on the artists, on the developers. But we are so far very happy that we are taking those risks and doing those crazy things. But there may be one day that I give up, saying, "Hey, this number is just too difficult to balance. I'll just give up and the time's turn." That may come, because that's not a bad choice, to be honest, because that serves some core players really well. So serves players who is very familiar with strategy games pretty well, right? It helps the outsider players. So it's not like we are giving up for the sake of giving up. It's like we focus on the players that we actually can serve. So it's not a bad thing. So in the future, we may do that. So it's, we still want to keep trying for a while. Yeah.
I like that.
If I can just butt in for a second, and I really feel like that, that everyone here should give the developers some, a lot of appreciation, because this, people are saying that, oh, this game is just, it should be going global. It should be going global. When is it going global? When it's a small team of developers trying to make the next big game. We've never seen an auto battler, right? That is so easy to learn but hard to master. You have almost 4-minute games. So I feel like that we should take some, we should give the devs a break, y'all. It's especially, and I know it's hard times right now. And I know a lot of people are, messaging me saying like, hammer them hard, let them know like, when this is going to happen, or, when the next balance changes are going to come. And I think patience is going to be the biggest virtue with Clash Mini success.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, I'll say like, out of like, I mean, this just goes for like all of Supercell, but like out of any of the beta games that I've played, like the standard that, like, it's called the Supercell standard for a reason, and like Clash Mini is definitely getting there. Like I'll be the first to say, like, if this game ever got shut down, I would probably cry, like legitimately cry. Like this game is just like, it has so much potential. It's so good. It's probably one of like it's the most fun I've had playing a game since Clash Royale first came out. So I will say that I definitely want this game to be like at the actual like Supercell standard, so that when they see it, it's ready to go global. So I got to say, like, yeah, just echoing what Spoop said, you guys are doing a great job with it, and I can't wait to see continued success for it.
And I'm gonna chime in just like what French had said. I've made 58 videos on Clash Mini. Almost daily uploading for about, I think, 38 videos straight. And I have so much fun. It's not only just with the game, but also just building a small community. I got to give a lot of love to the mods here. Like Draco. Draco is always in the Discord, always just being that beacon. You have Frame that's always on Twitter. You can tell that everyone's so passionate about this, about the success of this game. So, and I agree with Frontage. I would cry, and I would also cry some more. So I really want to see a lot more appreciation with Draco and with all the mods. People that have to put up with the same exact question, what's going on back and forth. But and another thing is that, again, yeah, as soon as when Fran said they're all human. We're all human at the end of the day. It's going to come throughout time. Let's just be patient, and let's get this W.
Supercell is also the most open company when it comes to communication. I've worked with a lot of game developers, and Supercell just does it right.
Agreed.
I mean, one of the core principles for our company is also to like fail as much as possible. Like we really want to do that. So that's why we're kind of like, trying our best to, try new things. That's why Mini Minute exists. That's why Smalltalk exists. That didn't exist in any other games. So yeah, you can tell, I think, based on our kind of content that we roll out, that it's a little bit different than any other games before. Yeah.
I will say, if you came up with Mini Minute, it was probably the smartest thing anyone could have ever done for a game, because short form content is king right now. So
Yeah. Yep.
if you came up with that, hats off to you.
Bro, I want to host a mini minute so bad. I would ban. Hey, let's talk later.
Sure. I mean, don't
Um,
worry about it. I would love for you to, especially because you're able, as Fan said, to speak so many words per minute. That like,
Speaking faster if you want.
yeah, I feel like I would get my bang for my buck if I got you to do a mini minute for us.
I think
I would be honored.
I think if there's ever a mini that raps, that's when we get Spoo-Ben.
Oh man, look!
Yeah,
oh
hey,
wow!
Hey, Ben.
All right, listen.
Ben, I used to be a
listen,
rapper in high
listen,
school.
listen.
Let's go.
Listen to me. Okay, so let's do this right now. So whatever the new feature is going to be, the mini minute, it has to be a rap through the whole thing.
Ben. It's already
Alright.
over. It's already over. It's already. I'm
Oh,
working on
no.
it right now.
I'll hop back on topic of the balances here as well, because I'm sure Spoop has some more questions that his community wanted to get answered too, and he probably has this one as well. Talking about the mirror map, I feel like that's one of the more controversial boards in the game right now, and being able to mirror like the bowler, the print, like clashability minis, and things like that. Has there been any discussions behind the scene about what could be done about the mirror board or the tile?
Yeah. That's a great question. So I think the tiles are fine. They did force players to think about positioning in different ways. I think the current how do you say this, tiles are a little bit too, how to say this feeling, like similar. It's like you better use it, right? If you don't use it, you are not playing well, but the enemy is probably going to snipe you on the roll, so you sometimes don't use it. But in general, you don't make mistakes of using it if the enemy don't snipe you, right? But the mental exercise or the mental game that players playing on this is always like, okay, do I use it or not, right? That's it. It's very one-dimensional. It's not deep enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with some really good players, pro players may think, how do I place it, stuff like that. But the amount of like brain exercises or the fun exercise is not enough to me. So we are so this is still maybe too early, but we are
Did we lose Fan?
Fan, you there?
Fan, when you started talking about we're definitely, and then we just lost you.
Such a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm standing right now.
Oh no.
We lost Fan. Oh no, here. That's yeah.
He was.
Yeah, we definitely cannot hear you.
start
so-
doing. What about now? Can you hear me now?
Right, there we go.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, sorry. I for some reason I just mute myself, then unmute myself. I can speak again. So the system, I think that the tile system is a cool proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
The tile concept feels like bowler to me. They can be done in a much better way. So instead of just fixing them like some short-term issues, we are rethinking the system. We're just starting to rethink the system. So please bear with us that we are. You may see like you said, some imbalanced or not very fun experience with the mirror tiles. We don't, like I said, we don't want to change too often to this to create disruptions. But we are thinking about like the whole system. So it just got started. So I cannot say too much at this moment, but we're definitely thinking how do we address the whole thing as a systematic way rather than just like in solving one instance and another instance.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's great. if I can just say one more thing, and I feel like this is some definitely like 3 or 4 updates down the road. Would you ever consider increasing the maximum elixir cap from 30 to 40, to make more 4-cost minis more viable?
Not really, because we don't want to give too much elixir to players, because when we give too much elixir to players, it's not like we don't like players who play more minis. It's not like that. It's more because like the more limited your resources are, then you have to make how to say more clear decisions on where do you allocate this, right? Let's say the game has only 10 elixir, then you have to be really careful about the 10 elixir how you spend. Let's say we give you 100 elixir, then it's too much, right? So we need to find the sweet spot. Like you play enough elixir, enough actions each turn, but not to a point where it's too much that players don't care about the choices they make. So is 40 a better number? Is 30 a better number? We tried both actually. We in the development we actually spent 2.5 years building the gameplay that you guys are playing. This simple gameplay, it took us 2.5 years to implement and iterate. We have like 50 rounds of implementation iterations. We tried 40, we tried 20, we tried a lot of different numbers. We don't have any scientific proof, but after trying so many different numbers, we feel 30 is the best based on our playtesting experience. When we made the decision, I think around 1 year ago. So maybe we can try to implement 40 elixir and see how it feels, because it has been like a year since that decision has been made. I personally feel it probably won't create a huge difference, because once you are used to 40 elixir, you are still because we are not going to give you infinite elixir, right? The issue you are feeling that you cannot level up all the minis to the full level. The feeling that we are still exist. So changing number doesn't really solve the problem. So that's how we feel. But we can definitely try this again and see if we feel differently. Yeah. But I think that's a good
maybe you can try and increase elixir
reminder
as a
and
game
suggestion.
mode.
Yeah, we can try and see how it feels.
Yeah, I feel
exactly
what Full
yeah.
Fringe just said.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when we make a new game mode, we're gonna try that. Yeah.
Perfect. So one more thing I actually want to ask is I feel like it would be great for the community to have this. I feel like that every month or so there should be like a community balance suggestion, right? And I know inside the Clash Mini Discord there's the feedback channel, and people are able to voice their opinions there. And I really feel like that the hammering home, it should be the community that plays the game in large that should be making a little bit of decision power to how to change the minis. If you and I'm always active inside the feedback mini channel, and people are bringing a lot of great suggestions and a lot of garbage suggestions, like like nerfing battle healer. That mini should never be touched. It's a perfectly balanced mini, but at the same time though, I feel like that we should be using the community more to have them voice their opinions in order to make these changes.
I agree. I feel like we could probably think about like having a dedicated balance only feedback channel, and then see what is the most popular balance suggestion every time we do another rebalance or a new update. I like that idea. It is actually just a matter of the logistics and the system that the mods have to go through and set up in order for it to be relatively reliable, so we can get the most kind of requested and the most kind of filtered out good suggestions, as you mentioned. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Draco, take some notes, I guess, and think about like what we could do, and kind of have like a dedicated balance suggestion box where kind of like the highest, not the highest, but like the most requested balance changes could come to us as early as possible, and then we consider them. Again, like we probably would not take all of them on board, because we do also our own testing and we have our own kind of perspective on things. But it would be really cool to see that. And maybe if we do another wave of balance testing, and if it came from the community, then we can just credit the Discord community for doing that, or whatever the suggestion came from, right? I really like that idea overall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll look into that for sure.
Oh, and I have one more question. Fan, are you single?
He's married.
Shut up, I need to hear this.
Sorry. What does it mean by single?
I mean, are you?
Sorry, my English is not very good.
Can I be the? Can you be the Archer Queen to my Barbarian King? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you mean I
Fanny's
have a
Or can you be the Barbarian Hen
have
to
a-
my Archer? Let's go.
I'm not single. I'm married and I have a son.
Oh,
Is that what you mean?
well,
That's awesome.
yes, yes. No, I just want to know more about you.
Oh, sure.
Draco's single,
Yeah.
right? Hey, Draco, how you doing? You little Hollister model. Enchanting has a girlfriend. That's meta-defining. That's crazy. Full frontage. He's got a. He got the glasses. I see you. He's got that kink. Sorry, I'm kind of off the rails. My Adderall just ran out, so.
We are only left with like around 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So I would love to see if anybody has any questions to raise up their hand up from the audience, and we can take a few of them. Try to keep them brief so we can answer as many as we can. But we've been talking quite a bit about balance and the game future. So hopefully this was as exciting for everyone. But yeah, let's pick a few peeps right up as we can.
And just before we do that, just a reminder, there should be one question per person.
Yeah. Like keep it brief and one question so we can answer it real quick. Let's have somebody that we all know from the leaderboards, I guess.
Funx, woo.
Funx.
What's up, Funix?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm asking about the leaderboard decks that they update in real time. Like Andy has already talked about talking about fixes that are coming. Like, have you already found a solution, and when can we expect changes?
I'm not sure exactly when the change would be implemented because we've been talking about this for quite a bit, and it does impact quite a bit. Obviously the top 1,000 players, as you obviously, that's why you're asking. But yeah, I think like because we're in the beta and we kind of like can afford these kind of mistakes, we kind of try to push it to where we need to basically, because in order to change this, we have to basically full update the game. And if we don't do that, basically like it's not possible for us to revert that change. So in order for us to kind of prepare for that change, we would have to probably roll it in together with other changes as well, which I don't know. I can confirm with you later. I'll also poke Andy to double check on Discord with you guys when we actually can do this. But yeah, we are aware of it. I know exactly that you guys want this to be changed to like a slight delay because it's a little bit not optimal for you guys right now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Funix.
Bye.
He's such a good player. He's amazing. I'm glad to see him on.
Diamond 2-player can't relate.
All right. Let's pull Gishi up here.
Gishi.
Gishi?
What's
Hey.
up, Gishi?
Gishi?
We can't hear you yet.
You got this, man.
Be shy. It's okay.
Gishi, it's fine. It's okay. You're talking to Mob Spoopy. It's okay. I'm here. He's a little nervous.
Oh.
L. Spam L.
Getting chatting up here.
In 10, come on. Hey.
I love you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yo.
Is there like a really big echo? I'm sorry if there is.
That's okay.
All
We
right.
still love you.
Well, great stage channel, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I have mainly just one question. Are you looking? So I know you said you're going to be reworking the Magic Archer. Are you also going to be thinking about reworking any other minis in the future, or is that kind of the only one that's on the radar right now?
So the one that we're actively designing is Magic Archer. Like I said, the bowler, the minis like bowler, who has great potential to be really cool, are the good candidates for the gameplay upgrade. So far, the Magic Archer is our focus. If you guys have any suggestions, please raise to us. If you guys want to see upgraded, that would be really helpful. That would really help us. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for coming
Love
up.
you,
Thanks.
Enchanted.
Love you too.
I love you more. Yeshe, welcome back.
Hello, can you guys hear me now?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
there we go. There we go. My bad.
What's up?
How's everyone doing?
Good, how are you?
Now that you're here.
I'm doing good, thank you. So real quick, Boob had a video about like reworking some minis, and one mini that I want to see used again is the Electro Wizard. And Spoob had a great point on making the Electro Wizard cost 3 elixir instead of 4. I'm wondering if you guys like that or are thinking of changing or buffing the Electro Wizard somehow.
Yes, I would not. I also watched that video. I really liked it. At the moment I hear about like 3 elixir, I felt yeah, I did. I actually left some messages in your channel. But yeah, I really loved it when I first hear it. And I think 3 cost is probably pretty cool to make him pretty good like a control mini. So we could do that in the rework or change list. And changing cost, well, a lot of things needs to be changed as well. So he's not the priority. But I think we could think about some reworks on him, whether it's 3 cost or it's something else. We'll see. I asked their decks and how to use this guy. So I will probably try to think about other things first. But I think reducing the cost is definitely one of the really good options if I cannot get some other really cool ideas for him. Yeah, it's a safety net that I can for too. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you everyone for coming for this state channel. Me and Fan got another meeting to attend to because it's starting of the morning right here in Shanghai. So we're starting our day off with a Discord state channel, and then we're off back to work. I will be clapping for the video editors on your side. Sorry?
Do you have time for one more question?
We could.
We'll be late for our meeting, but I saw Sandu raising his hand from the beginning to the end. I really want to let him ask the question. I know we'll be late for our meeting, but I think our teammates will be fine.
Sure,
I guess.
Sandu.
Oi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is not exactly regarding Clash Mini, but I was just looking forward to perhaps. Do you know anyone in Supercell who could perhaps talk to me or someone about the technical side of things? Because I would love to make an entry into game dev, and I don't know who to contact because in Supercell there's all this talk about C++ and Objective-C and custom engine, but at the end of the day, even if I learn those languages, I don't really know what's really going on inside Supercell. So, do you guys know anyone who I could talk to?
Oh wow, that's a very specific question. Okay, yeah, I mean, okay, so I would first suggest you to just if you are on our careers website, we have some job descriptions that we're looking for in engineering roles. If you take a look at on LinkedIn, for example, for Supercell, or on Twitter of Supercell account, we very often post the job openings for the engineers for the game programmers. And in that job description, very often we specifically ask for a certain skill set. So, what kind of programming language, what kind of experience you would be preferred to have, and those are really good guidelines in terms of like, if you check majority of these boxes, you could probably apply and be considered to like go through the interview process. I just, I personally am not an engineer, so I cannot tell you specifically what kind of like exact skill set you would need. And to be honest, each game is very different. For example, our game requires a little bit of a different background compared to Clash Royale or Brawl Stars. So it really varies from game to game, from studio to studio, and from team to team. So it's really I would really encourage you to just take a look at like previous engineering positions that we have, and please also, if you cannot find any of them, just ping me on Twitter, and I will give you some links as well, so you can take a look. I'm at Frame Supercell, so you can easily find me there. So yeah, I'm more than happy to just give you an idea of like what we usually look for in the candidates. I sound like a recruiter right now, sorry. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's okay to have a learning curve? You don't expect people to join and know the insights of Supercell, right?
Of course not. Like I joined Supercell, had no clue how Supercell worked. I mean, like, and I have 10 years of experience. You know, it's like I joined the company, and very often, because such a unique culture and because such a unique environment, you are very disoriented in the first few months. Like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how things work, and then you just learn. So yeah, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Thanks. I'll surely tweet you something.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, we got to run to another meeting. I'm going to be clapping just right now for your video editors to sync the video with our audio. So it's a little bit easier for you guys because we're recording this video as well. So the editing should be easier to perform later.
Sounds good.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Apologies that we didn't take that many audience questions this time, because we had plenty to discuss, because we know and we are aware of the balanced discussions and the meta and stuff like that, and we are actively working on it. Thank you, Fan, for coming, and FF and Spoop for coming to host.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for taking the time to chat with the community. We all really appreciate it.
Yes, I
thank you.
agree. Thank you so much, Fan. Thank you so much, Frame. And I feel like it really does help the community just to know that you guys are really working hard.
Yep. Appreciate you all.
Thank you for the question. Thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you all.
See you.
Have a good night, guys.